Hey everyone, welcome to the Solar Pedal Collective. I'm Ryan. Welcome. Great to have you here. Great to have your energy here. Sorry, it's early morning. I am going to be drinking coffee. I just got in. So I kind of wanted to do this video this morning because I received like a huge message in my dreams last night. That was kind of crazy. And I mean, it is kind of crazy because I am an herbal user, so it's not common for people to have dreams using those things. So when I do have dreams, it is very profound, and this one was definitely one of those. All right, let me grab another sip. Excuse me. All right. So I received a giant message in my dreams, and I don't know like who it's for. I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if it's for like a specific person. I don't know if it's for everyone in the world. But it was huge. It was huge. And the message was, how was it put? It was essentially like, stop trying to let go. It was, let go of letting go. Because that's not how it works. And I kind of did like a little meditation this morning, kind of trying to get clarification on it. Because like, let go of what? Let go of letting go, okay? But what are people trying to let go of? Because, I mean, you can try to let go of a lot of things. You can try to let go of grief, anger, frustration. You can try to let go of joy. Like, sometimes people feel too happy. So they're like, I don't want to be so happy. Like, they don't feel like it's right. So, I was trying to get clarification. And it was... Yeah, stop trying to let go of like pain, frustration, anger, grief. Essentially anything that elicits a big emotional response from you, whether it be good or bad. If it lingers with you, don't try to let it go. Like, stop trying to let it go. Stop focusing on trying to let it go. Be like, oh, that person really pissed me off. Like 17 years ago, I'm still trying to let it go. Stop trying. And stop, like, let go of trying to let go. Because it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. You don't have those giant emotional events just on happenstance. Those aren't by chance, is what I'm being told. Those aren't by chance. Like, there are little events. There are little events that can cause big emotions. And there are also little events that cause emotions to accumulate. And when you get those little events that, like, it's just compounding, it's like one after the other, and it just builds the emotion, that can feel like a big emotion for a little thing. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the big events in your life that cause a big emotional response. Like a death in the family, like a heartbreak, like positive things like getting a puppy or getting married, things like that. Big events, giant events, having a baby, giant events. Stop trying to let go of those emotions. Any of the emotions, like the big emotions that you get from big events, stop trying to let those go. because they're there for a reason. They were in your life for a purpose. Because how do you grow? You need nutrients, so you need food, you need sustenance, you need nurturing, like nature nurture. So you need that, but you also need stress. You also need those kind of things. Because that helps you, one, like, be sturdier when you grow. Having those stress points makes you redefine and grow stronger. And also having those stress events is how you evolve. It's how your spirit, it's how your soul grows. You evolve. You learn a lesson, or you don't. If you don't learn a lesson, it's going to take a lot longer to let it go, or it's going to take a lot longer for the process of it being let go to happen. But it's there to teach you something. It's there to show you something. It's there for a specific reason. And I know that's hard to swallow. Because there has been some truly evil shit that has happened in this world. And to hear messages, to hear downloads that those are there for a reason. Like, what a shitty, painful lesson. Like, what a shitty, painful lesson. Like, everything that is happening in the world today, what a shitty, painful lesson. But it's a lesson we need to learn. Because we as a species, we as a collective, have done this cycle again and again and again and again. It's been repeated. We are now at a point in our existence. Again, we have reached this point several times in human existence. And every time the wrong decision has been made. And so we repeat the cycle. And it happens again. And we repeat this cycle. And it's always building up a civilization, giant stress event, destruction. Recover. Build up a civilization, giant stress event, destruction. Recover. We've seen it throughout history. It's in our history. And I very much understand that history is through a rose-colored lens because it is written by the victors, the ones who won, the ones who survived. That's who writes history. So we're always seeing history, not necessarily the whole history. We're always seeing history through a rose lens because it's always being written objectively, or not objectively, sorry. It's not being written neutrally. It's always being written by one side. So you have to take what you read and everything with a grain of salt. Do I think anything that happened that was written? Do I think anything in history that was written didn't happen? Honestly, I can't say. Like, it feels like some things didn't happen. But, like, I know there is enough pain and suffering in this world to know that some of the really gnarly shit that was written did. So there is enough darkness in the universe because to have so much light, there also has to be so much darkness. There is a balance. There's so much darkness in the universe that to think that it was never possible, that it was never capable of happening, would be silly of you to think that. And then boil it all down to our species, which is very much a destructive species. We're very vain. We're very conceited. We're very selfish. Because we've been bred and taught that way, if you think about it. As a species, we have been taught to be selfish, because coveting what others have and wanting that for yourself, that breeds fear, that breeds anxiety, and that makes you easier to control. So to stop that cycle, to stop being in the cycle of fear, to stop being in the cycle of always getting to a point, getting to this very specific turning point to where it's either we can branch two different directions, not a billion different directions. This is we can go one of two ways. We can either go to destruction, or we can go to actually advancing our species and like beyond. So that's kind of like the collective awakening aspect, and that's what I'm being told is different this time. Is this time there has been enough of an awakening that it started like a mass awakening shift. That's what everybody's talking about. But that's what I'm actually being told in messages, is like there have been enough people that have awakened that it's starting that consciousness shift. And so this time, now that we're at this point in our civilization again, there is a different factor, which is the mass consciousness awakening. So this is the best chance that we have had to break out of it, to break out of this cycle. And for another chance like this to happen, if for whatever reason we do not break the cycle this time around. And I know I have seen some videos where like there's two realities now, like it's already it's already branching into two Earths, and are you on the right timeline and everything. I don't feel that, like, I don't feel like that's a thing. Like, I'm being told that's not really a thing. There are timeline shifts, but it's not one individual here and there. It's not groups or anything. It's when we do a timeline shift, it is the entire consciousness shifts. That's why it's never really happened before. It's because we never got to that critical mass point for awakening. We never got to that consciousness shift before. So when we do shift timelines, and we will, I'm being told that it will happen. It'll be the entire consciousness shifts. And I'm being told there have been a few people, there have been a select few that have gone and actually have like done a timeline shift and actually have gone to a completely new timeline, completely new reality. But they weren't there long, is what I'm being told. Because when you shift when you shift a timeline. All right, I'm being told when you shift a timeline, you're shifting yourself out of your timeline's consciousness. So you're essentially disconnected. And the hard thing that people seem to find when they shift is reconnecting to the consciousness, the higher level consciousness in that timeline, in that reality. And not being able to reconnect to the consciousness causes your mind, like causes your own consciousness to fracture. So you start, essentially your consciousness starts breaking down because you no longer have that connection. You no longer have essentially the supply of consciousness. So you start breaking down. And that's why they're saying that when there is a timeline shift, it is the entire consciousness that shifts. Because if you do it individually and you can't figure out how to reconnect to the consciousness of that timeline, then you fracture and you disappear. No, not disappear. You become a wandering soul. So with that, just hearing that, like, would that be what ghosts are? Ghosts are just people that shifted to a different timeline, like to our timeline, but could not reconnect to our consciousness? You know, that makes sense. Because if we are in a matrix, if we are in a simulation where we haven't really, we've had like the minimalist connection to our consciousness, but we've been in constant distraction, constant fear, going through these cycles and everything. What if like alien life and like UFOs and everything, those are beings coming from different timelines, like shifting to different timelines, shifting to our timeline. But they didn't realize that it was so difficult to reconnect to the consciousness here in this timeline and this reality because it is being throttled so hard that when they get here, they become wandering spirits. Because you have to be connected to a consciousness to timeline shift. Interesting. I did not think that this video was going to go this direction. I didn't think that I was going to actually do a video today. So you need to be connected to a consciousness to be able to timeline shift. If you can't connect to a consciousness, I mean, said you like, it's not the exact words, like it's kind of my interpretation, like my feeling of what they're saying, that you become a wandering soul. Not necessarily a ghost. I'm just saying, like they say, a wandering soul. So that doesn't necessarily mean a ghost or anything, but that's my interpretation of it. And then, yeah. It's very interesting. That raises so many questions. That raises so many questions in my mind. Sorry, you're receiving this just as promptly as I'm receiving this. Like I'm feeding it to you as I am getting it. So that is kind of interesting that that it would come through like that. And that's information that I haven't heard before. So that is, wow. Okay. So there. Okay, I won't. So I'm being told to circle back. Back to the main point. Which was, oh, I gotta wreck my brain. It's early. Let go of letting go. So we kind of went down a rabbit hole, and I was told, okay, we need to bring it back to kind of like the main point, which was let go of letting go. Let go of, don't try to let go of these hard moments. Don't try to let go of those moments that are causing you immense grief or pain or sorrow. Because if it came from those big events, if the big event caused a big emotion, you need to process the emotion. You need to let your, you need to go through your own process of that emotion. Your body will let it go when it's ready to let it go. When it has learned the lesson it needed to learn, it will let it go. Just like, what would be some instances? Like breathing. You don't think about breathing. You just breathe. Like blinking, a lot of the time, you don't think about blinking. You just blink. Like going to sleep, you don't think about sleep. You lay down, you rest, you calm your mind, and sleep happens. Like there's you don't think about going to the bathroom. Your body tells you you need to go to the bathroom. So you need to listen to your body ultimately. Like you need to let your body go through, you need to let your body go through that emotion. You need to let your mind go through that emotion. Because it's trying to tell you something. It's trying to teach your body, it's trying to teach your spirit something, because your soul, your spirit needs to evolve. It needs to grow. It needs to grow from that emotion, from whatever you're wanting to let go. It needs to learn from it, and it needs to grow, and it needs to evolve. And it'll happen. It'll let go when it's ready to. And there's also the reverse, not the reverse, but I'm being told there's also the, sometimes there are things that weren't meant to be let go. That you're just, your spirit is just supposed to have it. You're just supposed to hold on to it. And that sounds very, like that to me, just right now, I like, that sounded very sad to me. Like I also, like, I almost feel like I'm about to well up with tears, because that sounds very sad. That sounds very depressing. But it's for a purpose. Because there are such things as coincidences, but they're not as common as you think. Like a coincidence isn't as common as you think. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes a coincidence happens. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it's just serendipity. But a majority of the time it is for a purpose. It happened for a purpose, for a reason. And I'm being told that if you're meant to hold on to something, it's either for a later life, and then it'll be processed and let go, or you have to hold on to it until you interact or do something with another soul that your soul is supposed to be under this certain condition to cause this soul to grow. If that makes sense. So like, this person has so much grief and everything, and they've gone through multiple lives, and they still have that grief. They still have that trauma attached to their soul. But then they meet somebody, and in meeting that person, this person needed your soul to be a specific way for their soul to evolve. And when their soul evolved, your soul let it go. And you evolved. So that's kind of how you have to think of it, is that there are coincidences, but they're not common. So things happen for reasons. And it might not be this life that the reason is in. And again, that is very disheartening, because what the hell are you supposed to do with that? What the hell are you supposed to do with that information? Be like, well, am I supposed to, like, is that going to happen in this life? Is that going to happen in, like, so that's why there's this giant message of let go of letting go. Stop trying to force it. Stop constantly thinking about it, because it's going to happen when it happens. You are not here to just be carefree. You're here to have an experience. You're here to have your human experience. And in your next life, you might have an experience on a different planet. You might come back to this planet and have a different experience. You are meant to have those experiences because it puts your soul in a certain configuration. Because you have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. And once your soul is in that perfect configuration, the universe will make it so you can process that and evolve. And that's a beautiful thing to think about. Like through hardship, through utter misery, torment, pain, suffering, there can be happiness. Like there can be bliss. To know that, yes, there are moments of sheer monstrosity, like horribleness, and that we as a species are capable of absolutely terrifyingly horrible things. But so is every species. Think about that. So is every species. Every species had to go through this process. If they are a higher intelligence being, if they are traveling the universe and everything, at one point in time, their species went through this. There has been no species, no being, no entity that has ever gone through existence in pure bliss. That's what I'm being told. Not even gods. There has been no entity that has gone through existence in pure bliss. There has always been suffering. There has always been a point of hardship. There's always been darkness. But you need it, like the darkness is needed just as much as the light. Because you need it to grow. It's there to challenge you. It's there to comfort you. It's there to be the thing you need it to be. And if you think about it, that's a very powerful thing to be said. It's there to be the thing you need it to be. Because if you need to see demons, it will be demons. If you need it to be something for you to alchemize into light, it will be something for you to alchemize into light. Darkness is infinite potential. Darkness is everything unknown. Darkness is not inherently evil. Darkness is inherently anything. And light is not pure good, is what I'm being told. Light is the illumination of darkness. Light is also the alchemization of darkness. Light is darkness defined. I don't know what that means. Because if light is darkness defined, but light is essentially all color, but dark is also essentially all color. You just can't see. I will have to meditate on that. I don't know if that was like a message specifically for somebody, like that light is not all good. Light is all color, darkness is all color. Huh. I'm being told that's enough. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. that was a very interesting channel. Yeah, I just started this video because I wanted to talk about I just had the giant message in my dreams of let go of letting go. This got way crazier. So if any of that resonated with you, what am I talking about? Of course it did, because the video resonated with you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching it. But if you're still here and anything in this video resonated with you, please don't hesitate to comment down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, because it definitely helps me. I want to build a community and rise together to shared light. The motto. But thank you so very much, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.